You're not joining in the push start meeting. Yeah, 10 o'clock. You soon start.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Mrs. Pennant? Mrs. Pennant? Please mute. Hi. Oh, you're not muted. Thanks. Good morning to everyone.
Morning, everyone. We await the arrival of our special guest, High Commissioner of Canada, who is about 5 minutes away. And so we will begin as soon as she has arrived. So bear with us as we wait another 5 minutes. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Is Marcia Johnson Campbell, and I will be your chairperson today. May I invite you to stand as we listen to the national anthem of Jamaica. This will be done by the Northgate High School.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defenders, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us, our weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father. Grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be us forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we pause to acknowledge your sovereignty and express our gratitude to you for your wisdom, your guidance, your strength, your protection, and your provision. Because your loving kindness is better than life, our lips will praise you. Amen. You may be seated. Welcome to the project closeout ceremony for the Push Start project, preparing recipients for opportunities to undergird, stimulate, and harness their potential. A project of the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation, funded by Canada Foundation for Local Initiatives in Jamaica. This project, which began in October 2021, targeted 30 business owners and empowered them to create business plans to increase profitability, building capacity in business operations, utilizing social media and other communication tools, and raise awareness of gender-based violence. Let me welcome and introduce our special guests with us today. Honorable Norma Walters, Custos Rotalorum of St. Anne, we really appreciate your being here with us and look forward to hearing your comments. She's seated at the head table. Honorable Marcia Smith, Member of Parliament, St. Anne Northeast, welcome, seated in the front row. It is our delight to extend warm welcome to Her Excellency Emina Tudokovic, High Commissioner of Canada, and she's been with us here as Commissioner since March 2021. Welcome. We know you're well familiar with this project, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so very much for being with us. I know you have some other team members, and we want to welcome Patricia Taylor and Tanisha Dixon-Gale, also supporting the High Commissioner. Online, we have direct project participants who will be well familiar with him and his team, who would have conducted some sessions with them. Wesley Boynes, our chairman of the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation. Welcome, sir. It is your home, but we acknowledge and welcome you. Dr. Ransford Davidson, first Vice President of the St. Anne Chamber of Commerce, and Mr. Frederick Young, Senior Client Relations Manager, Jamaica National Bank Small Business Loans in St. Mary. Our delight to have you with us. From the Jamaica Constabulary Force, we had invited Inspector Faulkner, head of Ocho-Rios Police Station. We welcome you, sir, and thank you along with your team. There is also members of the Community Safety and Security Branch. Other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that sums up all of us, right? We have personnel online, and we welcome you wholeheartedly from Congress Corporate, from our KC or Kingdom Communities of Congress WBN, and project participants. Our project participants are here with us, decked in their shirts, well identified, having come through a process. We also have with us volunteers from the NYFDF, that's the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation. Welcome. We want to acknowledge in particular our senior elder, Beresford Gage, and his wife, Sharon Gage, who are two of the project participants, and they are here with us. Welcome, welcome, one and all. We acknowledge those persons who are on the media team, and we know your work is hard. We acknowledge those persons on our food service team, and we have some other of our friends, Constabulary Force, joining us at this time. Welcome. Mrs. Vanessa Peak, principal of the Northgate High School, which is also located here at the center, is online, and we have in our midst some of the students of the Northgate High School, as well as some teachers. Today, we will hear testimonials from the project participants on the impact of this project on them as individuals and on their business, and we will celebrate with them on this significant milestone in their journey. I invite at this time to bring greetings, and we will have them come in this order. Honorable Norma Walters Costas will be first with her greetings, and she will be followed by our Member of Parliament, Honorable Marcia Smith, Dr. Ransford Davidson, and Mr. Frederick Young will also bring greetings. Let's welcome them.
Chairperson, Mrs. Marcia Johnson Campbell, the Honorable Marcia Smith, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of the Public Service, and the Member of Parliament for North East Sudan. Her Excellency, Mrs. Amina Tudakovic, High Commissioner of Canada to Jamaica. Pastor Wesley Boynes, JP, Chairman of the Northgate Youth Family Development Foundation, distinguished business moguls, justices of the peace, Drs. Davidson and Mr. Young of the Jamaica National, Mrs. Teresa Gaynor, project manager, project participants, other members in cyberspace, inspector of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Otorias Division, and your members, other specially invited guests, PEY and associate students, distinguished guests, all. Madam Project Manager, Mrs. Gaynor, I noted that your invitation indicated a brief greetings. So I've interpreted that to mean that I should keep the end of my address very, very closely to the beginning. Hence, I'm adhering to your instructions, and the end will be only 3 minutes from the beginning. My Jamaican 3 minutes. Therefore, I am delighted to be sharing this significant event with you all, and certainly I am extending heartiest congratulations and best wishes on behalf of the citizens of this garden parish. It is also my pleasure to extend a special welcome to Her Excellency Amina Tudakovic, the High Commissioner of Canada to Jamaica, as it is usually my purview as the quote-unquote first citizen to welcome all visitors to the parish, Madam. So even as I acknowledge this long-standing friendship of our two countries, but especially today, I want to acknowledge and thank you for the invaluable partnership and the sponsorship given by the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives. Congratulations too on your first anniversary here in Jamaica. I hope you're enjoying your sojourn. But without doubt, Madam, you will be very pleased with the excellent use of the resources provided and the fine basis for the success of this Push Start project. I must commend Pastor Boynes and the Push Start project management team on this very novel approach. They have found the unique formula to strengthen to stand and withstand the challenges of the everyday living. The participants, some of whom are obviously new startups in business. So the approach you have taken to sensitize them to some of the issues which can present a challenge to service excellence, productivity, and sustainability is to be commended. I'm told that you actually assess the level of experience and expertise, their sense of responsibility, the ordering of their priorities, the stability of the family, the intergender relationships and other family relationships to be sure that you have the right client on which to build your success. The Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation is well respected, ladies and gentlemen, for its leadership as the team works assiduously to achieve success for the goals of the participants. Clearly accepting that their success is also your success. You have made a tangible and indelible mark, sir, and the team on the 2030 National Millennium Development Goals of our dear country. You could easily be conferred with the title of Visionaries with a Mission Forum of Excellence. It is well appreciated that when a group of people are brought together, it is a start, but when a group stays together, it is progress. But indeed, when the group of people work together, now that is what we call success. Therefore, keep up the good work, keep focused, and continue to make an absolutely awesome difference. In closing, therefore, I must hail this special group of participants. I'm sure you were specially identified to begin this new experience and a brand new journey. Without doubt, you all will want to make the best use of this opportunity to be successful at what you do. My challenge to you, therefore, today, and to many of the other young people gathered here today in this forum and in cyberspace, to find the code of persistence, so carefully crafted by one Herbert Sherman. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. That's your homework. Let's all be uplifted by the encouragement of the indomitable and great South African warrior and patriot, Nelson Mandela, who said, "Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that great generation. Let your greatness blossom." Yes, your blossoming is secure, as we can see that the Northgate Youth and Family Foundation, Development Foundation, will and has committed their support to this Push Start project, as the motto spells out, preparing, undergirding, stimulating, and harnessing. From here on, therefore, apply the 3 Ds of diligence, dependability, and discipline to all your undertakings. And having made that decision to believe in yourself and your own God-given talents and abilities, you are already victors, as you've obviously chosen to be the finest role model of excellence, wearing the mantle of self-reliance and adopting the entrepreneurial spirit, which knows, and I can speak, I've been a business person myself, and we have our 2 business movers here, that the buck stops here. Very serious platform to be on. And what we're going to use is not just a launch. We will be checking in on you to see how you stay the course. The buck stops here, and your shoulders and your back have to be broad. And you have to learn to say, if it is going to be, it is up to me. Not regardless of how much support you might have got. The buck stops with the man in the mirror. I encourage you, therefore, to continue to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. Congratulations and God's richest blessings always.
Good, 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 good. All right. There is a definite difference in the sound. Thank you, organizers, for extending to me an invitation to join in this Push Start project closeout ceremony. I'd like to specially greet Her Excellency, Mrs. Emina, let me see if I can pronounce the last name correctly with my list tongue, Tudagovic. Did I get it right? Yes, yes, not as close as the Costas, but I'm going to leave it alone. the High Commissioner for Canada, Mrs. Norma Walters, our Custos Rotolorum for the parish of St. Anne, Mr. Wesley Boynes, Chairman of the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation, Mr. Ernest King, the Director of Congress Corporate, Mr. Ransford Davidson, Mr. Frederick Young, members of our uniform groups, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is wonderful to be with you today. Today, I salute and thank the Canadian government through its Canada Fund for partnering with the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation in this project. It represents a positive investment in human capital, and these kinds of investment always bring a positive return to both the macro and micro levels of society. In countries like Jamaica, where resources are limited, NGOs as the charity, the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation, play an important role in ensuring that socio-economic support reaches those in need. To your charity, I would say, keep toiling. There is a harvest of good works to reap. To all recipients who have received entrepreneurship support, be encouraged and continue along the path of resilience. I am sure that during the course of the project, the word resilience would have come up many a time. The financial and technical support that you have received should be treated with the respect that it deserves. Cherish it and put it to good use. May God continue to bless all of us here.
God is good, and all the time. Let's hear that again. God is good, and all the time, God is good. I'm happy to be here today. I want to thank the organizers for inviting the St. Anne Chamber of Commerce to this exciting event. Her Excellency Emina Tadakovich, Honorable Norma Walters, Custos Rotolorum of St. Anne, Honorable Marcia Smith, Member of Parliament, St. Anne, Mr. Frederick Young, a very good friend from Jamaica National, Sir Wesley Boynes, Chairman for the NYFDF, members of the JCF, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the family of the NYFDF, a very pleasant good morning to you. I'll start with a quote from our Governor General, the Honorable Sir Patrick Allen. There is nothing wrong with Jamaica that cannot be fixed by what is right with Jamaica. And I'm happy to say this morning that this event, this collaboration is what is right about Jamaica. I commend the NYFDF for their vision and passion to create change. And what a profound theme, push. Can you imagine encouraging someone to push whilst you're going through the middle of a pandemic? Imagine encouraging groups and individuals to push whilst we are going through the deepest economic situation that we have ever experienced. And so this is what is right about Jamaicans, creating these sort of collaborations and commitment to businesses to create the sort of change that we want to experience in Jamaica. And so I want to commend everyone on behalf of the St. Anne Chamber of Commerce that collaborated to ensure that we can provide the resources for businesses to create a difference in Jamaica, to ensure that we prepare individuals. We provide the training and the development that is required for them to develop the skills in order to compete in this challenging business environment. To ensure that we undergird them, we provide the foundation for them to be sustainable, for them to be profitable, to ensure also that we stimulate, inspire individuals to see above and beyond the possibilities about their business and how they can become profitable. And finally, to ensure that we harness all of those skills and we bring the businesses together to make our country, Jamaica, a better place. And so I want to commend everyone who collaborated on this initiative, and we're looking forward for the exciting change that this will create in bringing our local economy, St. Anne, to a better standing, and to ensure that families are also impacted in a positive way. On behalf of the St. Anne Chamber of Commerce, again, I want to commend the Canadian High Commission. I want to commend all stakeholders on their input in making this dream a reality. There is nothing wrong with Jamaica that cannot be fixed by what is right with Jamaica. God bless you.
Family. Let me take time for having me, and as Ransford was saying, we are very international, depending on that, right? And so this morning, Madam Master of Ceremonies, Miss Marcia Johnson Campbell, our own Custos of St. Anne, the Honorable Norma Walters, High Commissioner of Canada to Jamaica, Her Excellency Emina Tuda-Kovic, and our own Member of Parliament, Honorable Marsha Simmet, Dr. Davidson, and my own colleague and friend, Wesley Boyne, JP. Well-wishers, participants, persons who will offer testimonial today. We want to, on behalf of the people of St. Mary and St. Mary Chamber of Commerce, endorse this initiative that in a difficult period of our lives, we are here today to close out an event that would have helped many. And as a person in the banking sector, we realize that there are challenges out there, Ransford, many challenges. Persons have been suffering from many difficulties since COVID, and now war is happening. So we have a double whopping. Notwithstanding that, Mr. Boynes and your team, you have withstood the test of time, and today is realization. So we wholeheartedly greet you well this morning. As you prepare, as you undergird, as you stimulate, as you harness your collective efforts together, we will make it. If I can speak briefly about St. Mary experience, there were a time in St. Mary when we have number of industries thriving: sugar, cocoa, banana, coconut, and even cattle and those other environment. Today, those are zero, or if not, on the way out. Entrepreneurship is the answer. And it starts with us at the micro level. How do we engage young people to get on board? How do we encourage them to stay on board? And so this morning, we want to share probably two quick pointers with you. The journey of self-reliance, community and nation building starts from the micro level. The entrepreneur comes with his idea. He researches such idea. There is planning, there is implementation, and there is evaluation of the project or idea. Yes, this entrepreneur take on several risks. They are perseverant, and they are jack of all trades, because in most cases, they are the accountant, the manager, the janitor, everybody. And so we encourage us to see these as stepping stone. I have had several school gate vendors, and I could speak to them quickly. A school gate vendor is somebody who sells item at the school gate, maybe at the school, Ocherous Primary, Ocherous High School. I'm going to do some quick maths for those of us who still do maths. Can you imagine at the Ocherous Primary School, 1,000 kids is going there, Madam Costas, each morning, and each child is taken to school $100 Jamaica. It means nothing to Mr. Davidson's in the bank because these are small money. But that 1,000 students who comes to school each morning carrying to school $100 Jamaica, in terms of collective power of money, they are taking to school 100,000 every day, one school, and for the week, 500,000 every day, and for the month, $2 million every month. One school, taking to school, individual student $100, which meant nothing to anybody. But those same monies are used to buy services and goods, phone card, biscuit, cheese chicks, pencils, books. And so I'm showing you how the money collectively has power. Money collectively has power. But it goes further. At those said school gates, you have 10 vendors. And these 10 vendors are selling those goods and services to the students. Potentially, those 10 vendors can sell 10,000 per day to boys. And so I know that these said vendors are using 5,000 and 6,000 worth of goods to convert into 10,000 worth of sale. And so these small vendors are making 4,000 per day net. And so these same vendors have a car on the road. Their kids go to UE. Their house expanded from this 30,000 they put into the business over time. So I encourage those 15 recipients this morning who would have received some assistance and now mature into their own pathway to make themselves a better person for their family, their community. And so we can start small. We can be at the micro level and move up to the big thing. We can be the KFCs and the other big stores around town if we start and if we stay on track. So I encourage us this morning to don't give up. There is hope, and I see hope in the presence of our Excellency, our Custos, Mr. Bourne, our MP, and the other members who are here supporting the initiative that we too can do it in St. Anne, St. Mary, and wherever we go. Because the risk taking, we believe it's only the big man must take a risk. When they borrow from the banks and they don't pay back, the bank may sue them. But the small man is afraid of borrowing, to be sued, to be contacted. I'm saying to us this morning, we must take risk. Life is about risk. And so with your risk taking, there comes an initiative where you can be involved in training, in getting funding, in getting grants to have your dream being realized. And so this morning, I thank you for having us. And as we continue the journey, we are here with you to hold your hand for those who need to step up bigger. We are here to hold your hand and to provide that guidance that will take you to the next level. Good morning and thank you.
Thank you. So we've had the inspirational talk. You can be that great generation. Apply the 3 Ds: diligence, dependability, and discipline. We were encouraged to continue along the path of resilience. And we were reminded that there is nothing wrong with Jamaica that cannot be fixed with what is right in Jamaica. Delightfully, we got a financial lesson a while ago. Start small and we're going to get big. We got it free of cost. Thank you so very much. And we are going to take those things into consideration. But if we're making money, we need some security. Yeah? And so we want to invite Inspector Faulkner from the Jamaica Constabulary, of course, head of the St. Anne Ocherous, to share with us some comments as we continue on this journey. Inspector Faulkner.
Morning, everyone. I will accept the protocol that has already been laid out because I am not so good at names and I don't want to make any mistakes. All right. When I was told to come here this morning, I thought my job was only to provide security. But as a police officer, one thing I was taught early, you are to come prepared. Always walk with a prayer or a few words as a police officer. I must say that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is always willing and ready to partner with our agencies to really make Jamaica a better place. We believe in nation building. And I am here today with my team. This team are the persons who normally engage the communities, partner with the communities, partner to our citizens. And I must introduce Sergeant Leslie Murphy, our team leader. Just raise your hand, Miss Murphy, that person to see you. Woman Constable Wilson and Woman Constable Johnson, right? Though a small team for a big parish of St. Anne, these persons have been able to reach the nook and cranny of St. Anne, and even St. Mary has benefited from their expertise. I must say, through partnership with the communities, St. Anne did extremely well in crime reduction last year. We were able to reduce crime significantly, especially our number one crime, murders. St. Anne did extremely well. Ocherius also contributed significantly to the reduction of crime in the parish and in extension, Jamaica. So that is why our commanding officer, SSP Powell, he has tasked us to ensure that we continue on this path. We have to go out there to the communities, meet the people, and get closer to the people, because without partnership, the job of crime prevention is too great to be left to the Jamaica Constabulary Force alone. We need all hands on deck, and we believe in partnership, and we are welcoming of your suggestions, and we ask you to continue the partnership with us to enable St. Anne to be a better place, and by extension, Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Inspector, for those encouraging words and your commitment to serving the parish. And I'm sure project participants and others will continue to partner with you and to have dialogue. The longer you have to wait for something, the more you will appreciate it when it finally arrives. The harder you have to fight for something, the more priceless it will become once you achieve it. And the more pain you have to endure on your journey, the sweeter the arrival at your destination. All good things are worth waiting for and worth fighting for. Our project participants have been on a journey, and they want to share that journey with us. So let us pay attention to our screens at this time as we are entertained with this video, My Push Start Journey.
This still small voice uttering purpose in my ear, in my spirit carefully perched on my heart, and the way this still small voice uttering purpose in my ear, in my spirit carefully perched on my heart, and the waves of emotion and excitement, even fear, on this bewildered teenage brain, no idea how to start.
difficulty. We are trying to sort that out. We are excited to hear about this Push Start journey. So we'll have to, are the persons on Zoom still there? Yes? Okay, so we're gonna start again. Me get a push start.
This still small voice uttering purpose in my ear, in my spirit carefully perched on my heart. And the waves of emotion and excitement even fare on this bewildered teenage brain, no idea how to start. Sight of who I am to be one day and what I am to do, a grand idea for my life, a dream for my future. I needed more sight, more guidance. Send me a push start for this venture. Then a collaboration sparked. Years later, something emerged in the world, in the earth. The Canada Fund for Local Initiatives and Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation collided, and my answer was birthed. My curiosity is piqued as I take one step closer over and into this opened door.
Entrepreneurs to access resources and training to build strong businesses. The entrepreneurs of the program will definitely become role models for the boys and girls in their community. And once established, their businesses will facilitate this next generation gaining key entrepreneurial skills. They're going to be involved in mentorship. They're going to pass on the information that they got. They're not going to keep it to themselves. They're so excited, right? Yay! They're so excited about all that they have learned, all they have acquired, and they are going to be putting it to good use. Yes? Putting it to good use and passing it on. Are we ready again? Let's try this time.
Purpose in my air, in my spirit carefully perched on my heart. And the waves of emotion and excitement even
all of us are familiar with when your car giving problems, don't it? And you get a push and it go a little way, you say, yes, man, ready. Remember those days, one person outside at the wheel, managing the wheel and running, and two people at the back and they're pushing it, and then you hear and you just jump in the car. Yeah, that's it. But we're getting there. We get a push start. We get a push start and it's gonna run now. Are we ready again, media team? Thank you so very much for your sacrifice and diligence and remaining calm in the situation. Not getting flustered or excited.
This still small voice uttering purpose in my ear, in my spirit carefully perched on my heart. And the waves of emotion and excitement even fare on this bewildered teenage brain, no idea how to start. Sight of who I am to be one day and what I am to do, a grand idea for my life, a dream for my future. I needed more sight, more guidance. Send me a push start for this venture. Then a collaboration sparked. Years later, something emerged in the world, in the earth. The Canada Fund for Local Initiatives and Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation collided, and my answer was birthed. My curiosity is piqued as I take one step closer over and into this opened door. I start to sense that this call, this invitation, my worthy mission was the push start I was looking for. I started to see how this could be the beginning, my victory inning, shaping up to be pretty amazing. I just need now to commit the time, the effort, the interest, and the work so I could start winning. But all I planned to put in, was it enough? Because push start was tough.
It was a rainy day, and I left work one day, and I had a push start class. I drove out finally on my way, and my car had a flat tire. I would be very late. The class is done exactly 8. Logged in now, oh gosh, my brain. We don't talk about numbers, no, no, no. Please don't talk about numbers. Oh, it's easy, budgeting and the accounting, they made it so very easy. I'm not afraid of the numbers. Now I can talk about numbers. Oh, oh, oh. I can talk about numbers. Please let us talk about numbers. Oh, oh, oh. Let us talk about numbers. I'm not afraid of the numbers. We have to talk about numbers.
These powerful sessions that open my thoughts and my eyes. Gender-based violence happens to anyone. How do we change it? We have to be aware of it, creating spaces that condemns it. We also have to stop, listen, look, realize, because without knowing, we can perpetuate it. We got a push start on how to ensure we promote gender equality. My business, your business, gender-based violence is everybody's business. But this isn't business as usual, as familiar as typical, embracing a new normal. We are walking in unprecedented circumstances where first impressions are virtual. Virtual spaces, virtual faces, virtual realities. What you put out determines what you will receive. We learned how to put our best foot forward using the social media and technology so we aren't struggling backward. Even with the challenges, it was still a joyous process. The tremendous information and resources received from Congress corporate, the interactions and exchanges were the key. And now, I am at the end of a successful journey. From my business's values to finances to marketing and workers' care, everybody can testify that they are ending on a platform where they are much more clear. The most important deliverable achieved was not the ones you can readily see. The most important deliverable was me. I entered this process with a dream, but no idea what my next steps should be. And now, at the end, you see a much more confident me. I am equipped and commissioned to launch my dream and make it reality. Me get a push start. Me get a big, big push start.
Beautiful. That was excellent. It was worth waiting for. It was worth waiting for. All the project participants, come on, let's hear you say it. Me get a push start. Come on, me get a push start. Me get a big, big push start. One more time, me get a big, big push start. Certainly, I'm sure you can all identify with that. Thank you so very much, Jody. We have seen and we will continue to see that this project was not just a project, it was transformation of lives. People were changed. We have some other testimonials, and again, they will be pre-recorded videos and from our project participants. So we have Rina Boynes from Media, Neil Rule from ThinkWeb Limited, Raymond and Marsha Williamson from Darms Farm, and Nadine Costley from Emoja Catering Services. They're going to share with us their journey.
Hello, my name is Rina Boynes, and the name of my business is Remedia Consulting. Two ways the Push Start program has impacted me is one, it has given me the foundational tools and knowledge that I need to start building my business. Before the program, I was clueless as to where to begin. But now I have a trajectory. Now I know where to begin the building process. So literally the program has given me a push start. Also, it has helped me redefine the goals for my business. So now I know where I want to take the business, what form and shape I want the business to take. And you know, most importantly, has helped me understand that at the end of the day, I want my business to facilitate the will and purposes of God, and that is first and most important. One way I will incorporate gender-based violence into my business is simply to educate persons about gender-based violence. I think prior to the Push Start program, I was based. Maybe there are others out there who are not aware. So I would use my business to educate persons, as well as use my business as a point where victims can come and seek help and guidance on how to deal with their personal situations.
The Push Start program has impacted my business in two significant ways. Firstly, we've benefited from the excellent business training provided. The sessions on pursuing operational efficiency stood out to me as it challenged me to review and think of ways to further improve our internal processes and systems. And secondly is the guidance provided in applying for a DBJ Technical Assistance Voucher. Through the program's assistance, I've successfully connected to a business development organization who will be assisting me with a marketing plan for my business. The process is already underway, and we are looking forward to the positive outcomes. Throughout this experience, the most valuable was engaging my fellow program participants. It was great. Going forward, we will facilitate an internal awareness of gender-based violence via our online training portal. We will also use our social media channels to add to the visibility of this very serious issue. GBV is everybody's business.
Hi everyone, I'm Marsha Williamson from Darms Farming. The Push Start program has impacted us in a very tremendous way so far. Our business is just a vision from the Lord that we had, that we thought we would implement sometime in the future. But coming into the P.U.S.H program, we were just motivated and encouraged to move forward now. I remember the first session I came in and hear testimonials of person's business. It gave me a motivation just to say, yes, we can do this. And that's one very important aspect that it had on us, that it motivates us to say, God is able to take us through. And we are in the process of about to be doing the business plan, and that's really a great, tremendous movement forward, and we are grateful. We also plan to incorporate the GBV training, as we were taught to develop our social media and have some posts on it. So once we have developed that, we plan to continue to put little ads on so that persons become aware of gender-based violence. And as we're in the process of gathering, we're looking to the Lord to speak, to show us who is actually going through this, and just trust the Lord to help them recover from this terrible monster, GBV. Thank you.
I operate a restaurant, and this P.U.S.H Start project has really opened my eyes as to how a kingdom business is built. And there are some things that I knew, but you sometimes procrastinate and kind of have a laid-back attitude. But it has really opened up my eyes on building proper structures, which I never had in my business. So that really impacted me. I've actually started putting structures in place. I never had a business plan. I'm now documenting things to put a business plan together. Really understanding the importance of bookkeeping, documenting stuff, which was really lacking in my business. My focus was on the practical part of it in terms of cooking and having a good meal prepared, and increasing sales. But I realized that behind all of that, there has to be proper structures, because that is how the kingdom is built. Proper structures have to be in place. And as such, those are some of the areas that really stood out to me, and I'm actually applying right now in my business. As someone who is passionate about and also a victim of gender-based violence, I hope in the future I'll be able to sensitize persons on a community-based level, because I myself am involved in community service, community groups. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to sponsor initiatives that will bring awareness to gender-based violence. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Veronica James, owner of Veronica's Day Spa and Training Center. I'm also a participant of the P.U.S.H Start project. Through the seminars implemented by this project, I have gotten both inspiration and direction as to how to better manage my business. Two areas of immediate benefits for my business are: I was able to revise my mission and vision statement as a result of the seminars, and being empowered to more effectively utilize my social media platform, to the point now that I'm already seeing some results. Now, as it relates to the gender-based violence, the forum was so profound that I already sensitized my staff as to the far-reaching effect of this on the society. Going forward, I would like to start a blog on my business website to bring an awareness about this subject. Thanks to the excellent management of the P.U.S.H Start project, I'm able to do so. Thank you.
We're just starting out, Rena, Raymond, and Marsha. We've heard from those who've been in this business a long time, Veronica and Nadine, and those in between, Neil. We've heard how they've learned new things and how they plan to implement them, and how the gender-based violence was, the awareness of gender-based violence, and how it is that they can play a role. We've heard how they have embraced that and the plans. Absolutely wonderful. Give them a round of applause. Encourage them. We acknowledge the presence of Mr. Kevoy Hayden from First Global. Thank you so very much for being here with us. And I'm sure you're pleased to hear that we have business owners, young business owners, who are putting plans in place. So when they come to you for that loan, if they're in St. Mary, they will go to Jamaica National, right? Yes, for that small business loan. But we know that you will know that they have been built. Yes, they have the capacity. They have been receiving the training, and they can put a proposal and a business plan together, and your money will be secure with them, right? Yes, and JCF will protect them. Yes, right, good. And Minister will make greater advocacy in Parliament for them. Yes, and Custos will just love and encourage and inspire them. Very good, beautiful. Teresa Gaynor is our project manager, and she has been working very hard. She's put a lot into it, and we invite her now to just give us a summary of the project. Teresa Gaynor.
Honorable Norma Walters, Custos Rotulorum of St. Anne, Her Excellency Emina, and I'm sorry, Excellency, my tongue still hasn't come to pronounce your name, High Commissioner of Canada, Honorable Marcia Smith, Member of Parliament, Northeast St. Anne, Dr. Ransford Davidson, First VP of St. Anne Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Frederick Young, Senior Client Relations Manager, Jane Bank, Small Business Loans, St. Mary and Portland, and Inspector Faulkner. Welcome everyone to our baby. Push Start is, I don't even know how to describe Push Start, but I'm actually just introducing a video where I'll go into more detail of what happened with Push Start in a very short period of time. This basically shows the impact of collaboration, of people willing to just go ahead and give their all to better their businesses and to commit to the community as well. One key thing we learned in the process is that everything is about vision. We have to take the time to develop our vision and to basically hear from God so that we can build accurately. Business isn't not about making money. Everybody knows that, right? It's really about the service we're going to be providing. So our team has put together a video that will basically talk about what happened in a very short, since November to now. You'll hear more about it. In June 2021, the NYFDF team learned of the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives call for proposals, and a small team of volunteers worked tirelessly day and night to submit our proposal. The Push Start journey was indeed one of learning
Recording in
engaged the
progress.
Services of Business Works Limited to work alongside our participants with the writing of these business plans. We learned that developing a business is not cheap, but a real investment. We thank you all for investing in us. We have come a far way from blindly feeling our way to moving forward purposefully with a strong sense of divine intent in the building out of the future of our businesses. The gender-based violence training and component of this program was also very impactful. We kicked off this component with the penning of our GBV jingle, written, performed, and produced by members of our core rhythm bands and Andrew Boynes. The simple yet powerful song encourages everyone to become aware of incidents of gender-based violence around us. Becoming aware will allow us to do something. The GBV component of the project showed us that we are not alone. We were amazed to find that even among us, there were stories of overcoming GBV. We discovered that there was purpose in our past pain, and that purpose was for us to now step up and play our part in advocating against GBV for the good of our clients, our employees, families, and friends. We could do something about it. It is not as hard as we thought because we were addressing it as a company of people now. We again thank the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives for making this topic a part of their program. We set out to host one public forum, but ended up hosting 2 over the life of the project. We tapped into resources among ourselves, persons who have had years of experience working in GBV prevention were activated to train the participants, and we partnered with agencies and Ambassador Alun Dombet Asamba to raise public awareness on this issue and to present practical steps to get persons to safety first, then to take them along the journey to forgiveness, healing, and recovery. Our participants were trained in the use of social media to promote this message. I feel we are still in training as there is so much we still do not know about these tools. Over 60% of our participants did not even have a social media channel for their business. But now, thanks to Push Start, we all do. We're still working on getting the hashtags correct. We're getting there. Dr. Pauline Russell Brown and her team from PEY and Associates conducted the research on behalf of NYFDF among women business owners in the Outaouais area, and her presentation today will give more details on the finding of this research. Very interesting findings. Push Start is off to a fine start, and this is now where the work begins. We will continue to share our experiences and insights on our Push Start workplace page. Our WhatsApp group will continue to be a point of sharing opportunities as they present themselves. We are now empowered with registered compliant businesses, and we are no longer afraid to go after new funding sources to invest in our businesses. We are no longer alone. Thanks to ThinkWeb, we will be able to post our learning materials on a Push Start Educate page, ensuring that we capture information that we have learned and that we can share with new entrepreneurs coming into our network. We are seeking further business opportunities to build out our business hub. Our training will continue, and we will also take the time to identify even more organizations to partner with for business development and GBV prevention. We have in our crosshairs the development of a business mentorship program for our participants. This is just the beginning, and we once again thank Canada Fund for Local Initiatives for giving us the start we needed.
So as I said, thank you all for investing in us, and your continued investment will be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Teresa, for that summary of all that was done. A lot has been accomplished in a very short time. One of the outcomes from the project is a jingle, which was prepared by persons in this jingle our project participants, NYDF volunteers, and it's just really a nice thing that we all need to get a hold of and keep playing. The Push Start gender-based violence jingle.
Preventing gender-based violence is everybody's business.
Stop, listen, look, realize. Stop, listen, look, realize. Stop the violence, safety, our interest, gender-based violence, and everybody's business. Listen to the people all around when the plague of inequality takes their sound. Look and open up your eyes to the people that are scarred from the violence in their time. Realize we all have a voice and speaking out must be our choice. Stop, listen, look, realize. Gender-based violence is a monster in disguise. Protect yourself from those in violation. Make sure we build up a better nation. Stop, listen, look, realize. Gender-based violence is a monster in disguise. Protect yourself from those in violation. Make sure we build up a better nation.
Both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. Both men and women should feel free to be strong. Protect the girls, protect the boys. We have to live with dignity as we strive to improve humanity.
Stop, listen, look, realize. Gender-based violence is a monster in disguise. Protect yourself from those in violation. Make sure we build up a better nation. Stop, listen, look, realize. Gender-based violence is a monster in disguise. Protect yourself from those in violation. Make sure we build up a better nation. A better nation.
Preventing gender-based violence is everybody's business.
Preventing gender-based violence is everybody's business. Please be sure to check out our social media platforms. If you want to play this jingle over and over, use it as a ringtone. If you want to go back to any of the sessions that we've had. So we've had a gender-based violence forum. We've had a sensitization session with Asambo, Ambassador Asambo, and that was really excellent. So go on YouTube, go on our Facebook pages, look for NYFDF, Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation, and go back through these sessions. Another component of the project was a research. Research was conducted by Dr. Pauline Russell Brown of Pay and Associates on the effects of COVID-19 on female-owned businesses. And so she's invited at this time to share some of those research findings. Indeed, any kind of research is useful in guiding future actions. And so it would be important for us to hear her findings. Dr. Pauline Russell Brown.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Good to see some familiar faces in the audience. Sorry I can't be with you, but my heart is there. I'm going to ask that the presentation be projected. Thank you. Open, and this is an optimistic note because we really women businesses can open very soon. The topic of the research is women-led business and the effect of COVID, experience of business in Ocho and Ann. So it's limited to the Ocho area. Next slide, please. Before I go into the final to extend, especially to the women business owners who were willing to speak with us and to provide the information that was necessary for this research. They were very accommodating. For the organizations which provided information on the women business owners, thanks to Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation for giving P.U.S.H and Associates the opportunity to conduct this research. And most of all, I want to thank the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives for supporting not just the P.U.S.H project, but this research. Thank you very much, Canada Fund. Next slide, please. Northgate, as you know, NYFDF, with funding received from Canada Fund, implemented the P.U.S.H project, and you've heard all about that all morning. And the purpose of P.U.S.H is to target businesses in various stages of development that require technical guidance. This project was implemented, and I won't spend too much time on this, but to provide the rationale for the research. Next slide, please. The research is really guided by 3 objectives, and they're listed here. First of all, to identify the effects of the pandemic on women business owners, and I'm going to use the abbreviation WBO from here on in the Ocho Rios area. The second research objective is to get a greater understanding of the impact of the pandemic on women-led businesses in the Ocho Rios area. And thirdly, to gather some information on what opportunities exist for the recovery of women-led businesses in the Ocho Rios area, St. Anne. Please note that this research was limited to the Ocho Rios area entirely. Next slide, please. Now, how was the research conducted? We conducted a survey of a sample of women-led businesses in the Ocho Rios area. We drew a sample of 26 plus 3 reserve. And in addition to this survey, we interviewed managers with financial institutions around, not just in the Ocho Rios area, but areas that would have institutions that would serve businesses in the Ocho Rios area. We interviewed 6 managers in all. And here I just list the organizations that provided us with the information from which we drew the sample of the 29 women-led businesses. And we are very grateful to them. It was not an easy process. And the interviewer who did the collection of the data, Elaine Wright, she is with us, and she can answer your questions on any aspect of this research that may come later on. Next slide, please. This is just to show you the breakdown. After much effort, we were able to get 184 businesses identified. And you will notice that most of them, the majority of them, were craft and curio vendors. We categorized some of these because they were single item, like electronics and computer. We had 1. Arts and science, there were 3 organizations, and some others. We had a water supplier in that mix. We had health and beauty and legal. Our sampling, we wanted to get a 10% sample. And you may ask, why just 10%? We had time constraints, and time is one of the issues in research that often guides the size of our sample. But we were able to select 17 curio vendors out of the 29 altogether. You notice we have reserve. We did sampling with replacement for some of the groups that we know were very small. So legal, we had 1 reserve just in case we didn't get any of the 2 that we had identified. In the end, we didn't get anyone from that category. Overall, we got 19 interviews. These were business owners who were in business for between 5 and 50 years. So it's an average of 20, if you can do the math, just over 20, less than 30 years average, 25.4 years average in business. Next slide, please. Now, what effect did COVID have on these women-led businesses? 3 of the women business owners reported positive effects, but they made note that the positive effects were mostly personal, and I put some of these here. For example, the arts and the advertising business owner said, not for the business, but I had to be resilient. Okay. The staff remained loyal as they have not had a pay increase in 2 years. Blessed to have such a good team. The computer store owner said we gained some new customers, so it wasn't all bad. Customers who had outstanding debts cleared them. I started to sell things that I did not normally stock. What was really positive, though, was the lack of noise, and the quietness was lovely. And many of us can identify with that last part of the statement. So it wasn't all negative around the COVID pandemic. However, the majority of business owners reported having difficulties, and 18 of them out of the 19 we interviewed, so it's 95%, reporting having to close the business temporarily, they hope. Next slide, please. Now we asked business owners, having had the experience that you had with COVID, what action did you take? Now, what we found was that the responses we got can be categorized into 3 groups. Those who did not know where to go for help, and this may be an opportunity for push. The second category, women who were saying they would not be eligible. And one of the ineligibility statements was that this person had received money from the government already, one, and this person also owed the UDC rent for the shop. So she didn't think she would qualify for an additional input from either government or UDC. And the third category of responses were women who said they would not be able to repay the loan, so they didn't even bother to approach a lending organization. Next slide, please. Now, if they would seek assistance, where would they go? And this graph just basically says 5 out of the group said they would go to a lending institution. 4 people said family. Family was an important source, but the same number of women said they wouldn't go anywhere. 3 would tap into government services. 1 woman each would use her personal savings, and 1 would approach the church for assistance to get them over this hump. Next slide, please. Now, when it comes to the third objective, are there opportunities for recovery? And we would say yes, but are they accessible? To answer this question, we interviewed managers in the institutions listed here, and we have grouped them: commercial bank, building society, credit union, loan agencies, and an international financial institution. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, what we observe is that all these institutions had the same basic requirements when it comes to documentation for lending: valid picture ID, TRN, proof of address, then proof of income for a minimum of 3 months and a maximum of 1 year, proof of business registration, a minimum of 2 guarantors, and each guarantor needs to have provided a valid photo ID, TRN, and at least 2 pay slips. And above all, collateral: a house, motor vehicle, or life insurance that has a cash payout. So these were the requirements for all the financial institutions that we spoke with that would be interested in or available to women business owners for financial support. Next slide, please. some of the women have really a very negative perception of these lending agencies. Okay, and here we have just one quote. As a female, financial institutions still look at us as weak. Men are able to access loans, etc., much easier. Okay, that's the perception of some of the women in the group. Now, it seems to us, having looked at the research results, that COVID has shone a very bright light on certain issues. First of all, the weaknesses in the system for women business owners. There's a lack of a sufficiently robust safety net. The support available from government is small and limited. And the assistance available from the commercial lending sector is there, but the practices do not accommodate the small business owner at all, who has income that is unpredictable. In fact, what we found is that there were a number of small business owners who sought assistance from the bank in which they had been customers for a while, but they were denied assistance. And given the requirements of the bank, we can understand why. But COVID has also shone a very bright light on the resilience of women business owners. I don't know if this applies across the board in Jamaica, but we have observed that the business of women business owners in the Ocherius area are particularly resilient. They have found ways to navigate during this time. And I think the next slide shows some of those ways. No, it doesn't. But some of those ways are relying on family. Some of the business owners we spoke with had gone overseas with 2 family members. And sorry, I'm in a noisy location. I'm sorry. And got support for themselves to survive. Others found other part-time jobs. There are others who, as they said, sought the church. One other person sought the church. And there are others who, in fact, one woman did baking to supplement her income. So these are women who want to continue their businesses and have found ways to do it. Based on the research information, it seems there were some missed opportunities, even though there was no financial support coming in. And this is where the women business owners focus. They focus on securing funds to help stay alive. But we believe that there are opportunities that presented themselves. For example, for continuing education through online seminars and webinars. And these could have been in self-advancement, personal development and personal improvement, business development, including diversification, which is an issue that I'm hoping some of our business owners will consider. And importantly, self-care. This is an area that was especially important during the very stressful early years of the pandemic. So some of these opportunities existed, and I think they were missed. Next slide, please. Now, the sample we looked at was very small, 19. And so you say, if you are a researcher, how can you extrapolate from that? But it does give us a sense that business owners are resilient. Many women who lead businesses in the Ocherius area are not aware about where they can get help. And there's a perception of gender discrimination. I want to point out here that a 2021 study of the banking sector done by Capri, that's the policy think tank that we have here in Jamaica, demonstrates that it's not gender that's the discriminating factor, but class. And when we look at what the lending institutions require, there's a clear indication that it may not be gender, but it is class discrimination. Next slide, please. Now, what can be done to address some of these gaps? And I'm making 3 sets of recommendations. There needs to be an increased advocacy role for the individual business associations and an increased member education role for those associations. And I heard Teresa talk about partnership and working together. I'm suggesting that success is more likely through partnerships. So all these small business associations may need to partner together to address some of these issues. Advocacy towards the ministry of the ministry that supports business development in Jamaica, but also member education on basic issues. What's available? What resources are out there? What skills do I need to have besides the skill of making the curios, the craft? And the third recommendation that we would like to make is that we need increased engagement or involvement of women businesses in the running of their associations. So not to step away and hands off, but to be engaged and involved. Let voices be heard so that action can be taken when necessary. Next slide, please. Thank you very much for listening. And I'm not sure where the question and answer period will be, whether it's now or later on. But we are here, and Miss Elaine Wright, who did most all of the interviews, is also available to answer questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so very much, Dr. Russell Brown. Unfortunately, we're not able to take the questions at this time. But certainly, if persons have questions, if you're on Zoom, you can place it in the chat. If there are persons in the audience here who have questions, then we can forward it to Teresa, and we will be sure to pass them on to Dr. Russell Brown. Very critical information that has been provided, and we hope to be able to work on those gaps. The Canada Foundation, thanks again, Dr. Brown. The Canada Fund for Local Initiatives provides support for small-scale but high-impact projects undertaken by local non-governmental organizations such as Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation. And these projects should align with the Government of Canada's international assistance priorities. Her Excellency Emina Tudakovich, High Commissioner of Canada to Jamaica then, yes, is very familiar with the Push Start project, and I'm sure she is very delighted to see the responses that we have presented here. She probably, well, she'll come and tell us whether or not she thinks it was a very good selection for CFLI to be a part of. Let us invite High Commissioner, Her Excellency, to bring remarks.
Testing. Okay. Sorry, I'm not very loud without a microphone. So let me start by thanking, first of all, Mrs. Marcia Johnson-Campbell. You've been an amazing moderator, and also I have to thank the IT support because you guys have been great. I've been at many, many things, and there's been way worse things happen, and people have freaked out, even for minor things. You've been excellent. So thank you as well to the Honorable Norma Walters, the Custos, Honorable Marcia Smith, Dr. Ransford Davidson from the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Frederick Young, the banker. I won't put you on the spot too much later though, but, and also of course, I realize Inspector Faulkner left, but to his members of his team who are here. Of course, Teresa Gaynor for the project manager, and Mr. Wesley Boynes, the chairman as well. I'm always a little bit all over the place when I do my remarks because you've covered a lot of things that came to mind, so I wanted to address them. Let's start with, you did an amazing job. I'm super impressed. You're super organized. You've really presented what you've done, and it's like you hit every single thing that we wanted out of this project. So congratulations and well done. So women and girls empowerment is a key tenet of Canada's foreign policy. We have a feminist international assistance program. So this project again hits a lot of notes. We're really keen on mitigating the negative effects of COVID-19 on businesses, which were really well described. It's been really, really tough, especially for small businesses. So I won't go into kind of the bread and butter stuff, but again, this is a priority for us. The gender-based violence is, again, this is really, really important for Canada. As I said, we have a feminist international assistance policy. We believe really importantly that gender equality is the basis of a just society. You know, and I have to say, I think both the Custos and we were talking about the banking, so I don't want to put you on the spot. But certainly in Canada, there is gender issues in banking. You know, I remember when my husband and I went to get a mortgage and I was the one with the full-time job at the time. He was a student and they're like, does he work? And I'm like, do we qualify my salary? And they said, yes. And I'm like, does it matter? And it did matter. We went to a different bank. So if even 15 years ago, and by the way, we paid off that mortgage. It was fine. But I think it's those gendered microaggressions, you know, where there's the little things. And you talked about gender-based violence, where it doesn't start with someone smacking someone around. We all know that it starts with words. It starts with feelings. It starts with sort of the hidden things. And I've had this in a hotel, actually, I won't name the hotel in Ocho Rios, where they had trouble with the reservation because it was in my name. And they insisted the whole time, they're like, why didn't you use your husband's name? And I was like, well, I made the reservation. I booked it and it's on my credit card. And literally the whole time, just to be awful, we signed everything in my name. So even my husband, he's like, I'm going to mess it all up. But, you know, and of course, my husband thought it was hilarious that I was talking about gendered microaggressions. But I'm like, look, if this is how you treat the High Commissioner of Canada, making me feel kind of small at the reception desk, how do you feel if you don't have the power I do at this place? So that's what it starts. So I think that's really important to think about that. It's about your day-to-day actions, about those little microaggressions and how important those are. So you talked a lot. I've heard that phrase from the Governor General, but there's nothing wrong with Jamaica that can't be fixed by Jamaicans. And I'm reflecting that in 2 weeks, I will have a year here that I've presented my credentials. And I'm always impressed. One, you all speak exceptionally well. And I always feel like I have to step up. But also just the energy, like when you put your minds to it as a country, you're amazing. Like, I wonder what, you know, if you're Jamaican and you don't like sing amazingly or have a talent, like, how do you feel? But then I've never met one that didn't in some way. So, and it's that creativity and hustle, especially for the small businesses. Everybody I've met in Jamaica does something else, you know, and it's amazing because they do it because they're resilient, and you do it because that's what it takes to get ahead here. So the business climate, I really appreciated the research on that, because I think that's really important, because there are clearly some barriers, and some of them is a lack of information. Some of them are structural. And not, again, to put the banker in the spot, but I think, you know, and you've certainly shown willingness, but sometimes you have to be creative with lending. And I think when people have a good business plan, sometimes you may need to take a chance on them when they don't have the collateral. That's my plug. I come from that, honestly, many years ago, about 20 years ago when I was in university. Myself and a few friends decided to start a small business. We started a small newspaper. We had no money, but most of all, you know what we lacked? We had no idea what we were doing, none whatsoever. We made all the mistakes. All we knew how to do, and I think one of your entrepreneurs said that, you know, all we focused on, we all knew how to write. We all thought it was really important to get the message across, and we thought it was really fun to have a small business, but we had no idea about money. So I'm going to mention a few things that kind of wrap up a lot of what you've probably learned, but felt it was important to say again. This is an investment. So the government of Canada invested in you, and we thought it was worthwhile, and it is worthwhile. All the time that everybody spent on this project for you, this is an investment. So take it. You're worth it. You deserve it. And this is important. You are now community leaders. You can teach other people what you've learned. People talked about mentorship. Mentorship is a great thing to do. I was a mentor for the first time this year, and I actually probably learned more than my mentee. You know, just thinking about my work and my life, etc. I think you mentioned the buck stops here. When you're a small business owner, that is really, really important. It's a great privilege to have a business. It's actually amazing. No one else can tell you what to do. But that said, if something goes wrong, it's on you. So, but you're the leader. Take that confidence. You know, someone walks into your shop or your store, your business, you're the person in charge. So take that space and don't be shy about it. Work hard. I think someone else talked about persistence. It is a lot of work to have a small business. Like I was going to say a crap ton. I don't think a crap ton. It's not a nice phrase, but it is so much work to have a small business. You will work super, super hard. And work hard, take some risks, take calculated risks. I was gonna say, I have this song, Let's Talk About Numbers now in my head, but I was like, so let's talk about numbers a bit. The really key thing about having a business plan is that you shouldn't be working for free, right? Pay yourself, know how much your time is worth. My brother used to work in construction. He had a small business. It took him like 10 years to realize that he cannot run his own business. He was losing money every year. He does really well working for other people. But it took him like 10 years to like put an Excel spreadsheet out and realize how much money he was not making. So the money is really important. So those assessments that you made, you know, the 1,000 students, 100 JMD a day, do that for your business. Make sure you're making money so that you're paying your employees what they should be being paid. You're not losing money. I always like to mention you should enjoy yourselves. Do something you feel passionate about and are interested about. It makes a huge difference. Look, I mean, if I had sort of, I don't know, married rich and young, I could be living a life of leisure somewhere. I'd probably be bored. But we all have to work, right? So we kind of have to work unless we're exceptionally lucky. So try and do something you enjoy. So I love the fact that a lot of your businesses seem to be passion projects because it makes it easier. You're not going to love every minute of it. No one loves every minute of it. But make sure you enjoy yourselves. And finally, really, the organization is so key, right? And I think a few people mentioned that. Have a business plan. Be organized. Be on time. Manage your money. Manage your resources. Don't have a messy workspace. Like it's an investment. So when you do things like go ask for a business loan because you're starting to make money, you should have a business plan. You should have receipts. You should know what's going on because otherwise no one is going to want to invest in you further if you don't seem like you do. So that's me being preachy. But really what I wanted to say is just what a great pleasure it's been to work with you. What a great foundational piece of work you've done in the region. This is one of my favorite parts of Jamaica. But take what you've learned and very, very well done. I think I can't congratulate you enough. You've done a great job, not just on this session, but certainly I think in putting things forward. So thank you again, and thank you for having me.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much, High Commissioner. Thank you. You heard it, guys. You are amazing. You did well. And an investment was made in you. As always, I remember the story of the talents, yeah? So you were given some talents. You did not bury it. No, you did not bury it. But you multiplied and you have shown that multiplication. So guess what? More coming to you. Yeah. More is coming to you. She said you must make sure you make money. Yeah, pay yourself and pay those others. Make sure you make some money. Be organized, manage well, and most of all, enjoy it. While you're doing it, you're working hard. While you're doing it, make sure you enjoy it. Thank you so very much, High Commissioner. We will hear more from you in a little while. But guess what? We have with us Ernest King, Director of Congress Corporate. Now, Congress Corporate is a global network of interrelated kingdom businesses and business leaders whose vision, resources, products, and people are linked together in one unified purpose. It's the expression of Congress WBN in the global marketplace. And the director, Ernest King, he is online, based in Trinidad, and is online with us, along with some other team members. Not sure if they're still there. But Sheldon Kelly, Leslie Ann Harper, is she there? But I think Sheldon is on with director. And we invite him at this time to give a charge to our project participants.
the final charge as we close out this project.
Well, hello everyone. Are you hearing me? I just want to make sure. I'm shouting all the way from Trinidad, so I'm not sure how my voice carries. I'm getting some thumbs up, so that suggests that yes, I am being heard, and it is now noon in Jamaica. It is 1 p.m. in Trinidad. Well, what an absolutely enthralling closeout ceremony thus far. I feel that there is little left for me to say and to do. So I will attempt to be very brief. Let me just start by saying it was our absolute pleasure and delight on behalf of the team to be a participant in this program. I think it has been as enriching for us as I'm sure it has been for you, if I judge from the very, very tremendous feedback. Well, let me just share some thoughts about this closeout ceremony. It is taking place at a time in the world that is beset by difficulty and crisis on multiple fronts. I mean, we have the tremendous loss of life and human pain and suffering from a global pandemic that has raged for over 2 years. We have the ensuing negative social and economic impact of the measures that were necessary to cope with the onslaught of the terrible disease. We have the chilling news that the global carbon dioxide levels are now at a record high, committing the planet to future warming and more extreme weather and longer term negative impact. And that's particularly important for small island states like the ones we live in. We now have the shocking and horrific reality of war returning to Europe after nearly 80 years amidst new geopolitical tensions and even a threat of nuclear Armageddon. But the most critical expression of crisis in the earth is the widespread moral collapse in the heart of man and the widespread ethical collapse in the behavior of man. I think that the current conditions in the earth bear some interesting similarities and parallels to a Bible story that we are familiar with, that most of us will be familiar with. This is the story of Noah. As we know, Noah lived in a time of great crisis in the earth. The Bible tells us that there was a complete moral and ethical breakdown, universal departure from justice, honor, and truth. Violence abounded, and corruption was rampant. From God's perspective, at the core of the crisis was the heart of man, which the Bible describes as fomenting evil continually. This widespread and comprehensive corruption of the human heart constituted an existential threat to all living things, and indeed the very structure of creation itself. In the midst of this rot of the human condition, God found one man who was morally upright, exemplary in his generation, and lived in constant fellowship with God. God would use this man to build a redemptive structure that opened a door to salvation for others and all that was ordained to be gathered into the safety from the crisis by the Lord. In the crisis of Noah's day, we see several patterns that can serve as important markers or guidelines for our response to the challenging circumstances of our time. We see a God who loves the world, but is deeply saddened at the state of his creation. He's as much committed to rescue that which is righteous as he is prepared to judge that which is corrupt. We see the leveraging power of human character, even if in limited supply, having a deciding impact and opening a door to the hope of a better and more sustainable future. We see a strategic response to the advancing crisis that was engineered and enabled by God himself. He chose to build through Noah resilient structures that can withstand the onslaught of the disastrous conditions that were arriving upon the earth. And lastly, we also see a God who was willing to partner with human agents to ensure the integrity of the building effort and to future-proof the built structures in order to secure those prepared to come into the administration of his care. So what are some of the similarities that we can identify in the Noah context and this P.U.S.H Start project, which we celebrate today? What do we see and what are we seeing? Well, when I thought about it, I was seeing broad-based concern for the state of people negatively impacted by the crisis of their time and a desire to help rescue such persons from the restrictive grip of their natural circumstances. What else did I see? I saw a group, the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation, which is an expression of a global faith-based entity that is committed to human, social, and nations development, advancing its principles such as integrity, humility, leadership through servanthood, excellence, and achievement through sacrifice. What else do we see? Well, we see the design of a strategic response to identified negative conditions and a radical determination to overcome such circumstances by building capacity, creating networks for partnership and support, promoting values and practices that can impact holistic development, and advancing societal change. Most importantly, we also see the involvement and support of what I would refer to as critical enablers, those with influence and those who have the authority to bring about change, people with an authentic desire to make a difference and whose vision, resources, and trust help to make building, change, and transformation possible. It would be remiss of me if I did not offer special commendations to all those who have contributed to the design, funding, support, and execution of this outstanding project. By your support and by your involvement, you have not only facilitated an impactful development initiative, but you have also served as an agent of a desire in the very heart of God himself to provide honorable opportunities to uplift those stuck in the mire of life's circumstances and turbulent conditions. I trust and I pray that you will continue, all of you, to search for and commit to more creditable projects with worthy partners that can help promote sustainable human development and impact social and national transformation. So here's my charge to the project graduates. My word to you, consider the Noah pattern. Consider the Noah pattern. Like Noah, you are now charged with a responsibility to build robust, resilient structures that can not only secure you and your families, but can also impact a wider future order of life. Be diligent in the stewardship of your building responsibilities. Make the most of this amazing opportunity that is now before you. Like Noah, walk at all times in the unimpeachable standards of integrity, honor, and justice, and in the love of all that is good and upright. In so doing, you will be attracting the gaze of heaven and justifying all that God has made available to you through this excellent initiative. Like Noah, live in defiant exception to all that is corrupt and unethical in the surrounding environment. Make a non-negotiable personal covenant to remain right with God. And if you do this, His grace will abound in your life and in all the work that you do. Like Noah, remain steadfast and resolute in the pursuit of the broader mission. Do not be overtaken by self-interest or overcome by the opportunity for quick personal enrichment. Just as you were chosen for this privilege, allow your life and whatever influence God gives you to be used to help others step upward out of their own limiting circumstances. Be an enabler for good. Be prepared to give back to your communities. Be on the lookout for ways to make a difference, no matter how small. Finally, like Noah, live comfortably under the demand, expectation, and empowerment that is expected of you, where relevant productivity must be the outcome. There must be a return on all that has been invested. This is very important, and I'd like us to consider just for a quick moment a passage of scripture in Isaiah 5, verses 1 to 2, which provides a picture of God's facilitation of approved human endeavor and His expectation of a productive outcome. I'll just read Isaiah 5, 1 to 2. My loved one had a vineyard on a fertile hillside. He dug it up and cleared it of stones and planted it with the choicest vines. He built a watchtower and in it cut out a winepress as well. Then he looked for a crop of good grapes. My loved one had a vineyard on a fertile hillside. He dug it up, cleared it of stones, planted it with the choicest vines. He built a watchtower and cut out a winepress as well. Then he looked for a crop of good grapes. Here we see the crafting of all the necessary conditions by the Lord to enable success. Deliberate positioning in a fertile space, regardless of what the natural circumstances look like. Careful preparation of an enabling environment. Judicious selection of the very best inputs and resources. Active protection and ongoing facilitative oversight. He built a watchtower to watch, to superintend, to ensure that the processes that he has outlined will come to full maturity, embedding of validated, productive processes. He cut out a winepress and put it right there in the midst. And lastly, he looked for a crop of good grapes, an overriding a divine desire to see and achieve a positive outcome. You have been targeted by the Lord. You graduates of this process have been selected and positioned by Him in a fertile place. He has set you in an enabling environment. He has sought out the very best inputs and resources to cause you to prosper and to succeed. He is actively watching over and facilitating your advancement in whatever your area of interest and application. And lastly, his desire is to see you succeed. He's looking for a crop of good grapes. That's his expectation. That is the nature of the grace of God flowing towards you. That's the opportunity that is presenting itself in the midst of the difficult circumstances of our time. And I commend you to the grace of God and the mission of God and the purpose of God. Honor everything that has been invested into you and allow the productivity of the flow of his grace through your life to see you through to the next level of your establishment in business and, more importantly, in him. God bless you and thank you.
Absolutely marvelous. What a charge. What a charge to you, choice vines, who have been deliberately positioned in a fertile space. A lot of investment has been placed in you, and you're going to engage in relevant productivity to ensure that you give a return on all that has been invested. Following the patterns of Noah, we're going to build robust and resilient structures and make a non-negotiable contract to walk upright, to be steadfast and be resolute. Thank you so very much, Director Ernest King of Congress Corporate. And I'm sure our participants and all the others here have heard and will walk in that. Northgate High School was established in 2012 and is housed right here at this current location. It's part of a global school system and aims to raise up leaders and responsible citizens noted for their pristine values and character. Indeed, the chairman of Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation is also the chairman of Northgate High School. They will be presenting an item even as we have our project participants prepare to receive certificates from the High Commissioner. Northgate High School.
Good day, everyone. Students of the Northgate High School. Today, we will be performing Spread Love by Etana. I hope you are in the Northgate High School. Good day, everyone. We are students of the Northgate High School. Today, we will be performing Spread Love by Etana. I hope you are empowered by this song.
Undiluted, yeah, it's concentrated.
what you get back. Have strength in love, that's a fact. Do good, walk good, stay on track. Spread the love, don't you look back. Spread love, spread it all over the world. To every boy, every girl, yeah. Spread it all over the world. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Spread love, spread it all over the world. To every boy, every girl, yeah. Spread it all over the world. No violence, no equality for us all. More peace, more love. All for one and one for all. No violence, no equality for us all. More peace, more love. All for one and one for all. Spread love, spread it all over the world. So every boy, every girl, yeah. Spread it all over the world. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Spread love, spread it all over the world. So every boy, every girl, yeah. Spread it all over the world. All over the world.
So are going to get a push start. The project may have been concluded, but push start will continue. High Commissioner is pleased to present certificates to the project participants. We ask you to stand and just make a line as you're seated, and your certificates will be presented. So guess what? We're not going to do the applause in between. So let's give them all a round of applause. The Push Start project participants. Can we invite you all to stand? Yeah. And we invite Commissioner to come here. All right. So you're just going to stay here. We'll hand you the certificates. And Veronica James, Angela Boynes, Michelle. All right, so it's gonna be the elbow bounce. So you take a thing. Beautiful. Angela Boynes. Michelle. Michelle Grant. Claudine Sidiel. Followed by Rina Boynes. Project participants, can I have you in the lines as your name is called? You come forth quickly. Thank you. Sharon Gage. Just one moment while we just adjust so that the online participants can have a wonderful view of our project participants who have worked so hard since October, being involved, attending all the sessions, and having a life-changing experience. We really appreciate Canada Fund for Local Initiatives for investing in their lives. So we continue with Sharon Gage, Jody Robinson, Rowan Harris,
Andre John. Patrice McCullough. Marsha Williamson. Roxanne Hamilton. Go ahead. Roxanne Hamilton. Ray Martin. Sorry, can you, all right, when you're going back, just walk the other way, please. Nerine Martin. Marcia Peak. Nadine Knight Costley. Atia Bennett. Horace Bennett. Neil Rule. And Anika John. Beautiful. Another round of applause for all our project participants. Thank you so very much again, High Commissioner, for presenting the certificates, and they get a little something else with that as well. So there's a lot of giving and more giving, and as they get, so they shall receive. Wasn't that beautiful from Northgate High School? Spread love. Yay! Spread love project participants. And so we want to welcome to bring the closing remarks, Chairman Wesley Boynes, who is also pastor and senior elder of Philadelphia Life Center. He is a former president and current executive member of JISA, that's Jamaica Independent Schools Association, and he's also a justice of the peace. Wesley Boynes, I know you are quite pleased at this time, and we invite you to bring closing remarks and issue some tokens of appreciation.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Marcia. In the interest of time, all protocols have been previously observed. I don't want to take up too much time, but I guess I'd like to present some some gifts to our special guest before I close. Your Excellency, can you please come? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Costas, Walters. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Member of MP, Marsha Smith. Good to have you. Dr. Ransford, Davidson. Or one more? Or one more? Dr. Ransford? I thought you were going to preach this morning. JP Frederick Young. Thank you for coming. Okay, the inspector is gone. Okay. And of course, Mr. Ernest King, our guest presenter. We appreciate him as well, but he's online. Thank you, Ernest. Your Excellency, your presence at these projects and rubbing shoulders with the Jamaican people around the island is sending a very positive message of genuine support, love, partnership, and cooperation. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, some people help from afar, but you have left your, I'm sure, very comfortable offices in Kingston, and you're here with us on the most beautiful side of Jamaica, after St. Mary. Yeah. So really, really happy to be. It really means a lot to me and the team and all the participants. You know, it sends a very, very clear message that you really care about the persons who are benefiting here. I want to thank all of the presenters who participated throughout the program. Hanifa participated in the social media. Mrs. Tanya Chambers, I'm not sure if she's on today. She did the best practices. And then the team from Congress Corporate, led by Director Ernest. I think Sheldon Kelly's here, and some others, Camille Wooding, Shuin and Leslie and Harper. The sessions were really, really powerful. I want to thank the participants who gave their best efforts. And I am observing that you are being faithful and diligent in applying what you have learned. Keep it up. You are charting a pathway for others to follow. I have observed that the ongoing impact of this project, Your Excellency, Madam Costas, is more than just a simple matter of running businesses. Lives are being adjusted. And from where I sit, I know a lot of the people very well, the participants. They have experienced a major paradigm shift. They are managing their lives differently. They are seeing life differently. And so what they have been equipped with is more than just about the mere matter of running their business. People are managing their lives differently. And I think that's a very, very powerful impact. What you do not know, Your Excellency, is that we had a number of businesses shadowing this group. Okay, these 15 businesses they're in a group of 45 other business leaders. A group of 45, they are part of the 45 actually. And so they have been shadowing those who were part of the final 15. They have been shadowing, they are part of on the same online platforms sharing information, talking. Okay. In fact, this week, one young lady came to me who was shadowing. I didn't know she was shadowing the business. She was one of the shadow business. I thought she was one of the participants. And she came with a business plan and showed me everything and all of that and all of her wonderful plans. And she told me I got a real push start, you know, and I congratulated her and I said, see you on Wednesday. She said, I'm not going to be on Wednesday. I was just shadowing, you know. I was in shock because she had everything worked out and was excited about the future. So there's a ripple effect that is taking place. And I think that is very wonderful. And I want to encourage the participants, do not keep what you have gotten for yourself. Let's spread the love, as the Northgate singers were sharing a while ago. I hope that the bankers here will take the initiative and meet with you and deal with all those wrong perceptions, right? Okay, I hope you'll call a meeting and say, come, and you know, make sure that your bank is not among the banks that is covered by that big sign which came up in yellow a while ago about how women see banks. Guys, call them up and meet with them. I want to thank Theresa. Grant is one of them. Yvonne Brown. Yvonne is not here. And I also want to thank the team who have been really surrounding Teresa. You all went beyond the call of duty, those late night meetings and planning and dealing with sudden changes and all of that. I really want you all to put your hands together for Teresa and her team. They did really excellently. And I want to thank today's visitors and supporters who came and stood with us, and you heard them throughout. The names were called. Thank Director Vanessa Peak, the director of Northgate High School, for the school switch to their online program, so we can have the space here today. So thank you, Mrs. Peak. She's online somewhere. There she is. This was a beautiful, beautiful process. The words which Ernest spoke, I want you all to take note of what he said to you. Okay, we expect a great return, and let us not let down the presenters and NYFDF. A lot have been invested in the lives of everyone who participated. So on behalf of my Angela, who is here as well, and myself, thank you very much. God bless you all, and I now hand back over to our excellent chairperson.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Boynes. Absolutely wonderful. And so to conclude our activity, remember we said the project is closing out, but Push Start continues. A part of that is a business hub that has been created to facilitate administrative and IT support for our project participants and others. Creation has taken place over on my right, and we ask that you turn your attention now, beautifully decorated, and we are going to be inviting High Commissioner to cut the ribbon. She will be supported by our Custos Rotalorum and our Member of Parliament and the Miss Teresa Gaynor, our Push Start project manager, along with our chairman of NYFDF, Mr. Boynes. Following the opening, we will be able to do a tour. We can have some other photo shoots occurring after that, and we will also have refreshments being served. So we are positioning the camera so that those persons who are online can see this beautifully decorated area. We have a lovely plaque to be unveiled, and then we will give you a sight of what is on the inside. So first of all, we will have the unveiling of the plaque by Her Excellency Emina P.U.S.H, High Commissioner of Canada in Jamaica. This Push Start project would have been supported by Canada Fund for Local Initiatives. Beautiful, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So that's the unveiling of the plaque. And now we have a beautifully decorated scissors, large scissors too. All right, so before you do the cutting, we want our partners from the Bank and Chamber of Commerce to be a part of that cutting, because they are going to be supporting us. And we probably should have a member of the JCF, because they are going to provide security for us. A member of the JCF can also stand. Yes, beautiful, wonderful. All right, so let's position ourselves. So we have to get a good picture of this. So we'll take some pictures before the opening, before the cutting. Great. All right, and now it has been opened, and they're viewing on the inside. We will give you a view in short order. So Vanessa, don't worry yourself. Who else is online? Diane, don't worry yourself. You soon get a view. Brittany, all the way over there in Canada, you will soon get a view. Simone, up there in Kingston, you'll soon get a view. Sheldon Kelly, you're still in Trinidad. You want to come and join us over here? All right, we're going to book you on the next flight over so that you can come and see the business hub. Miss Ati, you'll get to see it in short order. We're getting there. It's beautiful on the inside. We're just allowing the media team to organize themselves to give you a full view of what's happening on the inside. You haven't heard the laughter. There's somebody there who I need to. Elaine is still on. Oh, beautiful. All right, so let me acknowledge those persons who are on. We have, so Brittany is over in Canada. We have Diane. Diane, you're in St. Mary. We have Elaine Wright from Pay Associates. Ethan Peak. Ethan, are you here? Ethan is one of the NYDF. We have Kenneth Irvin in Montego Bay. Leslie Ann Harper from Congress Corporate. Pauline Pennant, NYDF, Rosemary Brooks, one of our teachers here at Northgate High, Sheldon Brown, one of our CD officers and NYDF volunteer, Sheldon Kelly, we said in Trinidad, Cheryl Irvin is actually here on site as well. Tamara Brown. Tamara has been very instrumental in part of this, leading the gender-based violence forum and sensitization session. We have Yvette Yee on as well, one of our NYDF volunteers. Leslie Ann Harper, I miss Leslie Ann. Leslie Ann is one of Congress Corporate. Thank you so very much for being a part. Elaine, you and Dr. Pauline Russell Brown will have to organize another session for you
to go through your research in detail, present the findings again, and facilitate discussions. But we certainly take note of the gaps identified, and we'll pay attention to it and do our part. This is something that has to be presented also to higher level, so that, Chamber of Commerce would have taken note of that. All right, so now we're gonna get a view of what's on the inside. Right, so we have Claudine Sidiel, one of our project participants, demonstrating to High Commissioner the laptops that are available to assist with the administrative work, and also being viewed by Member of Parliament. Yeah, so that's one of the laptops that will be used to facilitate the admin and IT work that comes with being a business owner. Beautifully decorated, nice little space. Like those arrangements. Thanks to our core team for putting all of this together, making the place look nice and fancy. And we certainly look forward to the support, the partnership, the collaboration that will take place. Much has been invested, and we expect relevant productivity. This has been our Push Start Project closeout ceremony. We really thank you all for participating, for being here, and we look forward to great things ahead. We do have refreshment available, which will be a grab and go kind of thing. We invite you and remind you to visit our social media pages. This ceremony will be posted like the other ceremonies that have gone before. So you may be able to find our launch, our gender-based violence forum with panel discussion, our gender-based violence sensitization session with Ambassador Alone Endome Asamba, who shared her beautiful testimony, as well as some others. So people are being empowered to speak out about gender-based violence and to take action. We do know that our JCF has a domestic violence intervention center here in St. Anne, where persons can go, and our police officers have been adequately trained to deal with domestic violence. It's not like in the past, but they have been given the capacity to offer compassion and care even as they go through the investigative process. So thank you again, Northgate High School. Thank you again for that beautiful song, and we are going to be spreading the love. It was my pleasure to be your chairperson for today. I wish you well.